we are digging up into the eerie parallels between two catastrophic Air India crashes. The tragic Air India AI-171 crash in Ahmedabad this week and the 1978 Emperor Ashoka disaster off the coast of Mumbai. We'll walk you through both crashes, what exactly went wrong and how a chilling coincidence has left people stunned. So stay with me as we explore if history is somehow repeating itself or if we are just ignoring lessons learned the hard way. Hi, this is Khatija and you're watching the Free Press Journal. Now let's start with what happened this week. Well, on June 12, 2025, a regular Thursday afternoon, Air India's Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner flight AI-171 took off from Ahmedabad's Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport. But what was meant to be a routine departure turned into an unthinkable tragedy just seconds later. The aircraft crashed almost immediately after takeoff, plummeting into a residential neighborhood. It killed 241 out of 242 on board, devastating toll. But what's even more disturbing, this crash echoes an almost forgotten disaster from nearly 5 decades ago. Now let's rewind to January 1st, 1978. It was New Year's Day and Air India's Boeing 747 flight AI-855 named Emperor Ashoka departed from Mumbai headed for Dubai. It was Air India's first Boeing 747. On board were 190 passengers and 23 crew members. Just 1 minute after takeoff at night over the Arabian Sea, disaster struck. So what went wrong? Well, the captain's attitude director indicator ADI, that's the main instrument pilots use to understand the aircraft's pitch and roll, malfunctioned. It falsely showed that the aircraft was banking right even though it wasn't. Captain Madan Lal Kakkar, an experienced pilot with 18,000 hours of flying, trusted his faulty instrument. He applied left input thinking he was correcting a right tilt, but in reality he was tilting the aircraft dangerously to the left. Flight engineer Alfredo Faria warned the captain that go by this captain, and he meant the backup instrument, but either the warning was too late or ignored. The aircraft rolled into a 108-degree bank angle and then the nose dived almost vertically into the shallow sea just 3 km off Mumbai coast. All 213 people on board died. The final report from 1982 called it irrational control inputs by the captain, completely unaware of the aircraft's attitude. Now let's come back to 2025. The Ahmedabad crash happened in daylight, not at night, and in a residential zone, not the sea. But the pattern is disturbingly similar. Firstly, it says the crash happened within seconds after takeoff. Second, the aircraft plunged before reaching 600 feet. And lastly, crucially, the landing gear was never retracted. Veteran pilot Captain Rakesh Rai, who flew the same Boeing 787 model for years, analyzed the video and made an alarming observation. He says, normally, once an aircraft lifts off and climbs steadily, the pilot calls out positive rate, meaning we are gaining altitude. Then comes the call, gear up. But in this case, the undercarriage never retracted. That raises serious questions. Why? Was the aircraft malfunctioning? Did the pilots become disoriented or overloaded in those first few seconds? Or was it another case of instrument failure? Well, until the black box or DFDR, digital flight data recorder, is decoded, we don't have final answers, but speculation is already growing because of how eerily this resembles 1978. And just when you think it couldn't get more bizarre, here comes the uncanny coincidence. On the very day of the crash, a Father's Day advertisement printed in the midday Gujarat newspaper featured an animated Air India plane bursting out of a joy-like building in a cityscape as part of a promotional event by Kidzania. Hours later, in real life, the real Air India flight crashed into a building. Social media exploded. Some call it a Simpsons moment, others said this is more than coincidence. The ad has since been withdrawn by Kidzania. But here's the chilling question. Are these just coincidences or a warning that we have stopped learning from our aviation past? How many more crashes will it take before systematic checks? Instrument redundancies and post-crash reforms become preventive, not reactive. Well, we have seen this story before in 1978. It was Emperor Ashoka. In 2025, it's AI-171. Let's just hope the cost of these warnings hasn't been paid in vain again. Now, if you found this analysis informative and important, share this video and help spread awareness about aviation safety. And of course, stay tuned to the Free Press Journal for every update.